Hey guys, it's here bringing you another video. Welcome to the patch 10.5 notes, patch notes that is, for League of Legends. I have not read these yet, so I like doing them because one, it gives me a reason to properly read them and digest them, and secondly, I know most of you don't read them, so at least you can kind of digest the patch as I digest the patch. So, we're going to play a little bit of a game while Pengu Soldier 897 gifts a sub. Thank you very much, dude. We're going to play a game. Does Vladimir and Kassadin escape nerfs again? I still, my conspiracy is the guy, whoever is like the person that decides what gets nerfed or patched. He's a Vladimir and Kassadin main. I'm keeping with that little theory. So here we go. Buffs: Alistair, Graves, Kai'Sa, Kayn, Lissandra, Nico, Severe, and Sona. You ready? Here we go. Nerfs: Kassadin and Vladimir. Yep, they've escaped it again. Are you serious? A Mumu nerf, Bard, Blitz, Ornn, Rammus, and Set. Like, at least how hasn't Kassadin been nerfed? I don't understand. We got some new skins, so the new Hex Tech, we got Sedge, we got Black Frost Rek'Sai, and we got Renekton and Alistair as Black Frost as well. Interesting, okay. Alright, so let's begin. Champions: Alistair. Base health increased. Passive stack gain no longer has a cooldown after Alistair roars. Moo cow needs more milk. That is legitimately their summary of the buff. Good. So his base stat has gone up by 25. That's actually pretty good for early game. That will be the difference of, like, let's say you play Alistair and you just died. Like, oh my dude, I just died at like level 2. You'll actually maybe just live now. That's cool. Passive Triumphant Roar. Once Triumphant stacks are consumed, Alistair can gain new stacks 3 seconds after the cooldown. Well, now it's immediately, so that is overall a buff for the cow. Amumu. Oh, cool. So they buffed him a while ago. Yeah, they did. Didn't they buff this exact thing, and now they're taking it away? So his ultimate cooldown was 130, 115, 100 seconds. It is now 150, so that's a 20-second nerf at rank 1. There is a 10-second nerf for rank 2, and that is at level 16. It's the same. So, rip. I don't know. Like, you never see a Mumu anyway. Bard, passive chime damage decreased. So, this will be to nerf his roaming build, I presume. That the one is the Deadman RFC build. That is about collecting as many as you can, and you actually get a lot of damage that way by roaming. After a history of journeying under the radar, Bard has been pulled back a bit due to how much he's succeeding at higher levels of play. So this is the point. You'll see this again. That Amumu nerf is for low rating. This Bard nerf is for high rating. It's the cool thing with League. It's so different depending where you are in the game that this Bard nerf legitimately is for people that are really good with Bard, that are maximizing his roams. And yeah, you see that a lot in high rating. So that is a... yeah, per 5 chimes, his damage has gone down by 3, and when it was only 15 to begin with, that is a pretty big nerf. So, yeah. Blitzcrank, base armor decreased, a small nerf since he just barely hits our triggers. So armor, one thing I will say about Riot's triggers, they have spoken about it in the past. I think the one thing that is missing from the balance team at Riot, and again, I don't know them personally, this isn't an offense to their character or anything, but common sense, I think, is missing to the balance team, and I think it has been missing for a long time. It basically feels that the game is balanced by robots nowadays, that like they have these certain parameters in place, and once a champion hits a certain trigger, that could be like their... It's not really win rate, but like... Let's just, for argument's sake, oh, their win rate hits over 55%, their pick rate hits over 6%, their ban rate hits over 11%. When these certain parameters are ticked, oh, we'll buff it or we'll nerf it. To me, common sense is missing. It feels like that the actual balance team doesn't play the game. I don't know, because like to me at least, there has to be no high rating player in the balance team because Kassadin by this point should have been nerfed. Everybody knows, like, if you don't ban Kassadin and he eventually gets 2 items, 3 items, he will eventually murder everything in late game, given the opportunity. So how hasn't that been touched? I don't know. To me, again, does Blitzcrank really need this nerf? No, it doesn't. But it is because it hit their triggers. It's just a bit stupid. Graves. Haven't seen Graves in a long time. Base MR and MR growth increased. Q cost now flat. Cooldown decreased. So these are overall buffs. 2 magic resist. Magic growth by 2.2. Wait, what? By 2.25 per level. So every 4 levels you're getting an extra magic resist. And then the Q used to be a 60, and then it used to ramp up in cost. It's now 60 flat. That's a big buff. And then the cooldown has also been buffed in. It is lower than it ever used to be. So that is pretty good Grave buffs. Not entirely sure. We'll see him, because Graves' playstyle right now, I don't think it perfectly aligns with the meta. I mean, he'll be fine, but I don't know. I don't think he perfectly is quite there yet. Kai'Sa. Q AP ratio decreased, upgraded missiles increased, W base damage and AP ratio increased. TAD, what the hell does that mean? Is that a typo? TAD decreased, upgraded cooldown refund increased. Oh, total AD decreased. Oh, okay. Interesting. I've never seen them type that before, if memory serves correct. So the Q damage ratio used to be a 0.4 AP ratio, is now 0.25. That's a big nerf. Living weapon upgrade, however, has gone up to 12 missiles, so it might be a tiny nerf, but not astronomical. So that's fine. The W, however, has gone. Base damage has been increased. Its AP ratio has been upgraded by 0.1, but its attack damage has been nerfed. However, it used to be a 50% cooldown refunded against champions. It is now 70% cooldown refunded against champions. So, yeah, that's, I don't know, kind of just balancing, because it's a nerf to her AP of Q, it's a nerf to her AD of W, and a buff to her AP. So, I don't know, I think it's just kind of some balancing going on. Nothing crazy or anything like that. It's just balancing. Kayn, passive orb gain increased, W slow increased. So I'm guessing they just think he takes too long to transform, maybe? So the Ornn gain rate increases at 8 and 12 minutes. If you haven't upgraded in 12 minutes, what the hell are you doing as Kayn? Increases constantly every second after 5 minutes, flattening after 13. Okay, so they are really trying to get people to upgrade as Kayn. And then the W, decaying slow, has been buffed by 10%. So pretty much the only good Kayns you ever see in solo queue, rightfully so, are red. There's pretty much no point going blue Kayn unless you're a smurf that's just smurfing and you can just assassinate everybody. But if you're a player that's playing Kayn in your rating and you're not smurfing, there's no reason to go blue Kayn, like, ever. And I think that doesn't change that at all. Lysandra, Q AP ratio increased. So I haven't seen her in a while. Will this do anything? Probably not. It's a 0.1 AP ratio increase. So this is good if you're already playing Lysandra, you like Lysandra, but this isn't going to bring Lysandra into the forefront of mid laners, probably. Neeko, so the champion that, you know, Riot's pattern of over-releasing a broken champion with too many features, slowly taking some of the features away, slowly nerfing the champion. Oh, the champion now gets forgotten about. Let's see what they're doing to Neeko. So, her attack speed growth has been going up. Her attack speed ratio is going up. Oh dear. Her E has been given a 0.2 AP ratio buff. Okay. And her shield has been given a pretty meaty upgrade to her shield. So the base shield has gone up and it's a 0.25 ability power increase. So that is quite good. Will it make her meta? I don't think it would make her meta in mid lane. Top lane, possibly, but I know what they're doing to top lane later in this patch. I heard the rumour. And I know they're nerfing ranged top laners. So I don't think this would bring Neeko into the forefront. But again, this is similar to the Lysandra. If you're a Neeko player, you'll like this. If you're not, it doesn't really matter. Ornn, the most overpowered piece of whatnot in the game that's been for a while. Legitimately, we've done games of this guy that I'm one-shotting the enemy AD carry at level 13 on Ornn with full damage, with full tank. So that made no sense. So we're lowering his damage a bit. Let's see what they do to that. So, passive. Battle proc damage, which is like the... Is that the thing that when you get your W on them, they've got that symbol and you do that auto attack? Is that I'm guessing? The brittle? So it used to be 12 to 20.5% of the target's maximum health, depending what level you are. It's now 10%, so 2% lower at like early level, and then it tops out at 18% at level 18, where before it used to be 20.5. So that's a decentish nerf. Nothing astronomically huge, I will say. And then the auto upgrade of his own item is now level 13 instead of level 12. I think that's good. Level 13 is kind of when like you're starting to group up. Level 12, I'd still say more or less you're in lane phase. And yeah, that one level is actually kind of a big level difference. So the difference is level 12 when he upgraded his Sunfire to a Molten Cape, or the other one that he always buys, the Abyssal Mask to whatever the hell that one's called. That gave him such a massive advantage in the 1v1 in top lane, for example. That now is being toned down. So I think that's good. You do have to remember that, like, I think the Molten Cape upgrade, when people have actually worked out, like, what each stat in League should cost and how it kind of balances out, the Ornn upgrades are supposed to be about 1,000 gold. That's generally the way that they've always kind of pitched it. It's around 1,000 gold. The Molten Cape and the Abyssal Mask are about 1,500 gold each in like terms of the value you get for the upgrade. That's why people, if you're wondering why people always buy Sunfire, why they always buy an Abyssal Mask, is because, yeah, the stats for those items are worth way more than the equivalents on other things. They're just insane. And they haven't touched that, apparently. So that's been delayed, and obviously, naturally, because that his auto upgrade has been delayed, his ally upgrades have been delayed, which, again, is another big hit. Because another thing that you can't argue with Ornn, him as a champion himself is really strong in the 1v1, being a tank. His engage is good, his CC is good. But then if you manage to get to late game and you're level 17, 18, whatever, you're also giving an extra 1,000 gold upgrade of an item that to your team that the enemy team literally cannot get. So that's another thing. Maybe a better balance of having Ornn. It sounds a bit weird. When there's an Ornn in the game, it unlocks the like upgraded forge for everybody in the game. But maybe it should be like a spawned location on the map that in order to go get your upgrade of an item, it's in like the Baron Pit or something. So you have to risk going to the Baron Pit to upgrade your item. Maybe that would be a better thing to do, but because then it makes it kind of fair. And by the way, I just thought of that on the top of my head, and I actually don't think that's a bad idea. Anyway, we're playing, going for Rammus now. Base attack speed ratio decreased. Honestly, haven't seen a Rammus in ages, so again, this is a prime example that no one is complaining about Rammus. Rammus does not need nerfs, but it's hit some of their triggers, so he's getting a tiny little nerf that literally is pointless. This is why, again, I say, stop balancing the game as robots and start being human beings. It's stupid. It really is dumb. They're nerfing his attack speed by, and I'm not kidding, 0.26. That's how much they're nerfing his attack speed. What? No, wait, no. 0.026. What's the point? Like, stop it. We're not robots. You're not supposed to be robots. Oh, wait, did I read that one wrong? Oh, is it 3-1? Oh, it's 3-1. My bad. I read it wrong because of the line. It's 0.031. That is the prime example of robot balancing and not human balancing. Right there. It's really annoying. Set. Don't actually think Set's a problem, if I'm honest. His W was a bit scary when he first got released, but I think people have got used to it, and like all you've got to do is dodge realistically the middle. If you get hit by the side, you're not getting hit by true damage, and your resistances tone down the damage a lot. So as long as you don't get hit by the middle of his W, yeah. And I'd say in higher rating, he's not great, if I'm honest. He's definitely not the strongest Juggernaut. I'd say Darius is miles stronger than Set. So I don't know. I don't really think he needs a massive nerf, but apparently this might be for jungle especially. So his armor is getting nerfed, which will hurt his jungle clear. Obviously, it will hurt his top lane as well, but jungling, that means he's also going to take more damage from all the monsters. Health regen has also gone down, so he'll be health regenning around the jungle less. His health regen growth has also been nerfed quite heavily. So those are overall base stat nerfs from Set. And his ultimate, the showstopper, the slow duration used to be 1.5 seconds to all targets that, you know, when in the impact landing area. It is now only 1 second. So a what, 33% nerf to that as well. And then he's got a bug fix that Set properly gets an assist credit when his target dies while suppressed. So that's good. But yeah, so someone is saying, because again, I don't watch much pro play anymore, he has near 100% pick rate in pro play. So there you go. That's a pro play nerf, I guess. Because yeah, I don't really see Set anymore in my solo queue games. Secondly, I don't think he's that good even for solo queue. He's fine, and that's the thing. He's fine. He's not overpowered. He's not even that strong. If you're a Juggernaut player, arguably right now, Darius is definitely stronger than him, and hell, probably Garen is actually stronger than him, and I can't even believe I'm saying that. But yeah. What's the difference between Juggernaut and Bruiser? Juggernaut has a slightly tankier aspect than a Bruiser, I think. There's a merging, or, you know, you could probably call most Juggernauts Bruisers, but you can't call all Bruisers Juggernauts, if that makes sense. Severe. Haven't seen her in a long time. Q damage increase later. R minimum movement speed now scales. Ooh, that could be interesting. So the damage has gone up for Severe. A 0.2 total attack damage ratio increase. That's pretty cool. Oh, it now scales. It used to be oh, no, it didn't. So it's the same for level 1. Level 2, it starts getting a buff. And then, yeah, so you're getting 0.2 more attack damage in late game. When you've got like 500 AD, that will make a difference. And then also you're getting a bit of AP, which is the same. And the base damage hasn't... Oh, that's not there. So yeah, her scaling's better for late game of her Q. And her ultimate used to be 20% movement speed. It's now 30% of maximum rank. So that's pretty good. That's not bad. Yeah, maybe 500 AD was a bit too much for Severe, but you know what I mean. Sona. So they might buff this because obviously they nerfed top lane supports. Apparently, by the way, Janna, because again, people are so desperate for LP, because they nerfed out Sona and Soraka, people have started to play Janna now in top lane to do the same thing. Apparently something in later in this patch, it legitimately is going to just murder any idea of that. But yeah, I don't know, people are just desperate for LP and it's sad. We got base stats, attack damage buffs, 4 more attack damage. That's good for poking. Attack damage growth has also gone up by 1 per level. That's not bad. And the movement speed has been buffed. Didn't they get rid of that lot? Wait, what? They can't make up their mind. 2 patches ago, didn't they buff her movement speed? Then they took it away, and now they're buffing it again? That rings a bell. But it used to be scaling. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, but it's now straight up a 20%. Wait, read what they said. We're reverting the mid-patch. There you go. I thought I wasn't going crazy, but yeah, there you go. There we go. Overall, nothing crazy stands out to me. I just think, again, some of this is just a perfect example that the balance team, I don't know what they do day in and out, because it just kind of seems that robots are doing their job. And you can just get clear evidence of that, of like the Rammus one. A human did not decide to nerf Rammus's attack speed by 0.031. No human would have decided that. A robot is deciding that. I think there just needs to be a bit of common sense back in the balance team, a bit more human in the balance team. And that's where, like, how has Kassadin gone us under like the radar all the time? It's because a human isn't balancing anything. Anyway, out of range cast changes. Wait, what? When you try to cast an ability outside its max range, one of 2 things will happen. Either you'll walk into the range and then cast the ability, or the ability will automatically cast a max range in that direction. We're changing the 3 abilities below to all follow cast at max range behavior based on how we see players, especially new players, try to use them. In Syndra's case, this especially makes a QE combo easy to pull off. Oh, interesting. Well, mains will need to relearn how they feel. Oh, okay, I don't mind this. It's making it easier. This is like a kind of like, it's a noob helping change for people that play Misfortune, Syndra, and Varus. I'm okay with it, but I imagine there will be some very annoyed high rating players at this, if I'm honest. Because, yeah, okay, interesting though, but it's in essence what it's doing if, for example, you are playing Syndra and you press Q, but it's out of actually the spell range. It means that Syndra before would walk to the maximum place that like, okay, how do I explain this in layman's terms? Say this is the range of Syndra's Q, but you want to like have your Q over here. Before if you were here, pressed Q on Syndra would walk to make her range increase to then get the Q where you clicked it to go. Now what it's going to do is if you want your Q here, before when you pressed Q, Syndra would walk to increase the range. Now it will just Q the furthest it can cast from where you're standing in that direction. I'm not sure I like that at all. I think that's really bad for high rating players. Good for low rating players because it means at least they'll get the ability off. But that is a prime example of holding low rating players' hands. And that's not elitist to say, that genuinely that's pretty bad for high rating. And yeah, someone's saying to it, as a Syndra player, that's horrible. Yeah, it is, genuinely. Because before, when you were a good Syndra player, you pressed Q to get Syndra automatically walking to then cast a Q. And basically, you could mentally prepare, right, it's going to go off in half a second when Syndra gets to that range. Boom, I'm ready to press my E. Boom, we get the stun. Well, now, the Q will just go off in that direction, and then you'll press E, and then it's out of range anyway. So I do not like that at all. And yeah, maybe there should be a toggle, like by default, it's that way, but as a player, you can decide what way you want it. But I do not like that at all. Jungle champions, so Darius is getting further buffs. His passive will be doing more damage to monsters. Mordekaiser, who I actually felt was really strong in the jungle, and we got legendary in that game we played, is getting a buff, so that's good. I thought he was already pretty good. And then Poppy also, who wasn't part of the initial jungle champion changes, but she's always been able to jungle. She is getting more damage from her Q shockwave, I think it is, versus monsters. So that's good. Not bad at all. All right, top lane. Here we go. Because I will say, we are recovering the main account of me uploading this video. The video you guys had earlier today was me on my main account getting back to Diamond 3. And the way that I've been doing it for the past week is primarily, I think all of my games actually for the past week, I've been playing top lane again. Zaheen Gaming, welcome, dude. Hey, Huz, love the content. Keep it up. Thank you very much. But yeah, I'm back in top lane, being my main role. I've kind of just decided I think it is where I naturally belong. And I don't know, I'm not one of those people that, complains about the role. I adapt. I won't play dumb things like Sona or Soraka. I'm not that desperate for LP, but I will adapt. I'm not one of those top laners that's like, dude, ranged are the bad, because I won't adapt. I'll adapt. I'll play something that's good into range, or I'll change my item build to just counter them, like the triple rejuve bead build. I'm okay with it, but it would be nice if top lane is given a little bit of love, and it does seem they are trying at least. So, gold per tower plate is going up by 40. Doesn't seem significant, but it will help. If you're winning top lane, that is a massive kind of snowballing tool to get all the tower plates early. The range resistance, so this is where the range dum-dum argument comes in. Tower plates take 17% reduced damage from ranged champions. So that's something. Again, ranged champions always, yes, they can poke you. Yes, they can try and get tower plates, but they're always at risk. If you get on a ranged champion as a good bruiser or tank, whatever, in top lane, you primarily do kill the ranged champions as long as you don't play really badly. But that's a nerf to them. Why not? Outer tower armor and all that stuff. So it is actually being heavily reduced. So these tower plates will fall incredibly fast now. Like the first couple, it used to be 40 armor was the first plate. 80 armor, I guess. And then it's now 15 and then 50, then 85. So that's pretty big nerfs for armor and MR. The bulwark resistances, 35 per nearby enemy champion past the second plate. It's now 45. So what's that? Is the bulwark one that it gets tankier if there's two people taking a plate, I think. So this is like helping just the pure 1v1. It basically incentivizes just taking it by yourself, I think. And then the outer turret armor and MR is 14, that's unchanged. So this is straight up a buff to 1v1s in lane for early aggressive champions. So this is actually weirdly could be a buff to like Renekton. Renekton is so good in the early game, He can get domination in the early game and then take a couple of tower plates in the early game. Boom, that gets your snowball going as Renekton. But yeah, honestly, yeah, people already. I've even, by the way, picked up Jax recently. That champion's dumb. It takes no skill to play. Eventually, you become a hyper carry anyway, and his early game isn't even that bad. Play Jax. But Jax, Tryndamere, Fiora, this is all big buffs to the pure 1v1 split pushing top laners. So that's pretty good. Nasus, I wouldn't say so. Nasus, to me, is never really worth playing in solo queue, but that's just me. Blade of the Ruined King. Ooh. Oh, yeah. So furthering, by the way, these are more top lane buffs. Current health damage increased for melee champions. So, yeah, like, again, this is Riot kind of going, yo, top laners, how you doing? This is another buff to Jax, Tryndamere. These are the champions that buy Blade of the Ruined King or can buy it. So, Blade of the Ruined King has been out of fighter inventories for a while now. We're buffing it to be a luxury option for shredding through juggernauts or tanks. So this won't be like every single game you play you'll be buying it. This is a optional item. Like, I'm playing Jax and I'm against an Ornn, I'm buying Blade of the Ruined King. Like, that's the kind of thing. That's the idea. So the unique passive used to be 8% of the target's current health. It's now 8% of the 8% for ranged. It's now 12% for melee. So that's pretty significant. And Ornn can now also give... Ooh, Ornn can now buff Blade of the Ruined King now too. So you can actually make your Blade of the Ruined King better. That's pretty interesting. So like, let's say you have an Ornn. When would you even do that? You have an Ornn in your jungle, because some people are doing it. Or like, or you've got, I don't know, even a ranged, like even an AD carry at this point, where he already could do that. Oh, so why are they bringing that up? Oh, well, there we go. Anyway, that's that. Ravenous Hydra and Titanic Hydra, both, again, people are complaining about Yi. Again, if the only people that will complain about Yi are bronze, so it doesn't matter. Hydra, so again, more top lane buffs. Oh, my goodness, hello. Lifesteal is increased, area of effect increased, and now occurs at your max attack range. Oh, really? 6% lifesteal buff. That's huge. That's a 50% buff. Active radius has gone up by 50. Active center point used to be 125 distance in front of you. It is now at your basic attack range, so up to 200 distance. Sorry, Rengar. So that's bad for Rengar for some reason, but good for everybody else. Okay. And then Titanic is, which obviously is the tank killing one instead of the lifesteal one. Passive damage to primary target used to be 5, then 1% of the user's max health. It is now 1.5% of the max user's health. Oh my, like, just straight up, everybody. Think of Jax right now with 3 items. Triforce, Blade of the Ruined King, and Titanic Hydra. Oh my god. He'll just kill anything. Like, just straight up, Jax will murder everything. I'm playing Jax this patch. Let's go, baby. It's an expensive build, obviously, but Jesus Christ. And then secondary targets has been buffed as well. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. Honestly, they're pretty good top lane buffs. Not really going to hit Darius at all. Like, Darius at a stretch can Blade of the Ruined King. I've never liked Hydra items on Darius ever. So, I don't know, not a massive good for Darius, but, like, Darius is naturally pretty strong. But, yeah, Jax, I think, has been the big winner here. Aurelia as well, I guess. Fiora. Who else? It's hard to actually think. Renekton a bit. Tryndamere, yeah, Tryndamere, sure. He's actually pretty good for solo queue, and that's me saying that. So if you know, Huzz is actually saying Tryndamere's strong right now. Yep, he is. Aatrox, yeah, somewhat, I guess, maybe. Camille, yeah, Camille, Kled, yeah. So yeah, quite a few buffs there for top lane. Item nerfs. So this is what they're talking about, by the way, that it's potentially yeah, it's basically getting rid of top lane supports, and even this is also hurting apparently funneling people too, because apparently people are still doing that. But it's mainly for the top lane. So, you know, we spoke about earlier that people are so desperate for LP that a lot of people climbed, cheesing with Soraka and Sona. They're now panicking. Oh my god, I'm in a rating I don't belong in. I'm going to now play Janna in top lane. Well, now this gets rid of it. So you don't get any of the stacking benefits of the gold. So, you know, when you upgraded your item, even in top lane, you legitimately cannot do that anymore because you need an ally with you for it to count towards your support item. So yeah, that legitimately has now completely killed top lane supports. Good. All right, so Boots of Mobility has been nerfed 1,000 gold instead of 900. It's a bit of a nerf. This is a top lane buff, by the way. Swifties is a 5 movement speed. So you know all those little 5 movement speed nerfs that has happened? That are, you know, the classic Aurelia 5 movement speed? Well, now she can get it back. To be honest, like, it's a little bit of a buff. Boots of Swifties are pretty good to snowballing top laners, I'd say. Like, if you're playing Darius and you're snowballing, you can buy Boots of Swifties to continue your snowball. Generally, though, you're not buying these unless you're snowballing. You know, Mercury Treads or Ninja Tabby are 100% better than these, but these are the snowball boot if you are playing Darius or Olaf or something like that. That's like, dude, I'm already 3-0 in top lane. Let's go. You'll buy Swifties to continue your snowball. That's about it. But it's a buff to that. All right, ARAM, don't care. Eternals is apparently coming out. Who cares? We got a bunch of bug fixes. Does anybody know if there's any big bug fixes here? Again, the thing with bug fixes is if you're a player that doesn't really care about an individual champion, I don't really care about this, but this is something that could be so big for like a one trick or main. Because, like, if you're a one-trick of something that is, like, I don't know, Mordekaiser was known to have a lot of bugs back in the day, you probably are waiting for the moment of them going like, oh, dude, they're going to fix him any moment, and you potentially could be waiting for this the most. Do I think they need to buff Akali? No. And then we've got some upcoming skins. Renekton, Alistair, Rek'Sai, and Sedge. I will say, in my rating at least, which is, like, now mid-diamond, Akali is still nearly 100% banned. Again, it's just the prime example of a champion being different in the different ratings of the game. In gold, platinum, or below, Akali's really bad. In diamond and above, she's still really good. Just depends. We've got some new skins. Guys, with my eyes, is there an emerald green chroma anywhere? So right now we are giving away the Tryndamere, LPP Tryndamere, Blood Moon. Is there an emerald chroma in any of these? If there is, then there's a chance that we might be getting a code. Right now, I don't know if there is. Renekton and Rek'Sai both have them. Shall I have a guess? People always find it funny when I guess. I'd guess Renekton is that one. Right? Is that right? And then Rek'Sai is that one? I honestly don't know. Again, I am, by the way, color... Oh, wait, you can't see my mouse, sorry. That one, and that one. Those are my guesses. Wait, that's emerald green? All right then, fair enough. But yeah, I'm color confused technically, which is a kind of it's a slight difference to color blind, but more or less it's the same thing. We don't see in black and white, by the way. I see in full color, but basically just colors meld a little bit together for my eyes occasionally. It's a bit weird. But that is it. That is the patch. So once again, Kassadin and Vladimir have escaped nerfs because humans aren't actually doing any balancing. Robots are. Some very weird nerfs, buffs. I don't think anything incredibly stands out. So it's an okay patch. It's fine to have these patches that nothing crazy happens. But yeah, that is it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, throw a like on it. Let me know what you think of the patch. Let me know if you think there's anything that should have been in it that escaped the nerfs or escaped buffs. Let me know. Does help out. Potato Farts, thank you very much for 16 months of Twitch subscription. Appreciate it, man. But that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, throw a like on it, throw a subscribe. Let me know what you think down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.